Adam and Kobe, I think it's good that I'm moderating this session because I
Yeah, yeah.
was definitely a little fired up on Twitter with some of the replies I was getting. So I'll answer this and let you two kind of ease me into it here. But what's your take on the move Chastain made for his first career Cup Series win? Was it a fair bump and run? Was it a dirty dump and run, if you will? Or is that just the nature of stock car racing?
Well, I'm going first in this. I think it was, yeah, we've seen it at a short track race, Bristol, Martinsville with the bump and run. But if you're out there going for your first career win, I think you do anything to get it. And I think we saw that between Ross Chastain and Allmendinger and Alex Bowman. Ross Chastain had a strong car all day long. He and his teammate Daniel Suarez combined to lead almost most of the race. But I think it was a traditional bump and run like we see at a short track. And how cool was it, to see the watermelon man, Ross Chastain, smash watermelon on the front stretch.
Looking at what Ross Chastain did on AJ Allmendinger, I guess you have to say you've waited your entire life to win for the first time in the NASCAR Cup Series, and you've been close in the last several weeks many times, and you don't want to wait another week. You want to win the day. I think most of us, maybe 8 out of 10 of us, would have done the exact same thing Ross Chastain did. I don't know about a dump and run, spin the guy out, maybe get the bumper, knock him off the course where he doesn't spin, but you could tell Ross Chastain was completely dedicated to getting that win after running strong once again. Ross Chastain would not be denied at all, and overall, to me, it seems like just the nature of stock car racing, something that you're going to see every now and then. I know after the race when Ross Chastain was speaking to the media, he said that he felt bad the way this ended because of his friendship with AJ Allmendinger, and afraid that it's going to be affected because of what he's did. But like I said, I'm sure a lot of the drivers would have done the exact same thing, and they have done the exact same thing that Ross Chastain did. I don't know what you. I know bump and run. A lot of people feel like that's fair, but when you get to the dump and run thing, that's where it gets a little hairy, and where all the different perspectives of that start to vary a little bit. But at the end of the day, Ross Chastain was able to smash the watermelon victory lane, get his first career cup win, and in the words of Vince Welch, I guess you could say the will was still imperfect today for Ross Chastain.
Amen.
Don't remind me of that call either. I don't know about that. Hugs, Ben. Rough to see your driver get dumped. Well, we talked about this yesterday. I do have to remain objective here now that I'm expanding my role here at Grid. But I'm more upset that I lost a pickle winner point than anything. I picked AJ to win the race today, and I already missed out on Leclerc this morning. So that would have been a little bit of redemption for me. And Ross Chastain, had other plans here. Let me just say very quickly on here so we can move on. I think it comes down to, was it a bump and run or was it a dump and run? And what AJ did to Ross, that's, I think, typical Rubbins racing. From a couple camera angles, you can barely tell that AJ got into him. Somebody replied to one of my tweets and said, he almost beached Ross Chastain. And, I think certain camera angles maybe made it look a little bit worse than it was. There was very little contact. I think Ross, was trying to run wide. All the drivers were abusing the track limits all weekend. I want an answer from NASCAR as to why we're enforcing track limits on a few corners, but not the rest of the track. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But then, you get down the straightaway and Chastain completely, is not letting off of Allmendinger's bumper. And then when they get in the braking zone, Allmendinger has nowhere to go. He's thrown right into Alex Bowman and ends up spinning out. So that to me is a dump and run. Whether it was intentional or not, I think only Ross Chastain knows that for sure. I'm not Ross Chastain. I can't tell, what his intentions would have been. People also brought up, AJ's not racing for points, and I understand that, but, that doesn't change what happens on track. So, did AJ deserve a little bit of contact? I think that would have been more than fair. I think maybe Ross's move was a little bit too aggressive from a purist point of view, but based on the precedent that has been set in NASCAR Cup Series racing in the past, you can't fault him too much for it, I don't think. If we're going to remain objective here and be fair, he is trying to win his first Cup race, and he's going to do everything he needed to do to get that done.
So what's your Grid 1 training moment from this motorsports weekend?
You know, he did kind of move my childhood favorite driver out of the way to get it done, but I am going to put my objectivity hat back on here again. Let's give the one shining moment to Ross Chastain. If we're being honest here, it is a long time coming. He has nickel and dimed his way, literally in many respects, to get this opportunity in his Cup Series career. And like I said earlier in the show, he is certainly, I think, if NASCAR had a Most Improved Driver of the Year award, Ross is running away with that right now. When you look at where he was with Chip Ganassi last year, yeah, he had a couple of strong runs, but we were starting to question, is this the same driver that was driving the wheels off that Nice Motorsports truck, driving the wheels off of that JD Motorsports Xfinity car? You know, he had a lot of experience in Cup, albeit at the level of a backmarker team, you know, but logging laps, gaining experience at these tracks. And it wasn't exactly a great season for him, his first year in solid equipment in Chip Ganassi Racing. Well, he has turned it up to 11 this year, and a run of 4 straight top 3 finishes in Cup is impressive no matter what the situation is. This is the top level of stock car racing in the world and in NASCAR here. So Ross Chastain getting the job done today, you have to hand it to him and give him the one shining moment. I think it's great to see a story like that, you know, in an era where, you know, sponsorship is so key here. And Ross hasn't always had that in his career. And even when he thought he had it with DC Solar, they ended up getting raided by the FBI. I mean, you really can't make it up. He has had some bad luck by him throughout his career, but to get this opportunity, it looks like he finally has some solid footing with Trackhouse. He's certainly making the most of it. So that is my one shining moment. Great job, Ross Chastain, and the first of many, I'm sure, in his Cup Series career.